bar is open, guys. Beer 30 Sanity session Friday evening. It's cool here in Fort Clark Springs, Texas, and I'll move over so you can see the whole gang and the bar sign and everything's cool. And the Carpe Diem clock is right on time. But having said that, yeah, chill out, guys. You've had a hard week, stress, I'm sure, and yeah, relax and enjoy a cold toddy or whatever you're into because you deserve it. The world owes it to you. You understand? So, having said that, what else? Yeah, I want to mention this. If you order something from Amazon, be sure and check if it's sold by Amazon or who it's sold by because some of these people really sell some garbage. I haven't had much luck buying stuff that wasn't sold or whatever by Amazon. But anyway, what are we going to talk about? Well, first of all, I'm going to get a swallow of beer or whatever. Here's to you, here's to me. Should we ever disagree, here's to thee and me. Skål, brothers. Cheers, prost. Mm, 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 mm. My first taste of beer today, and it tastes just as good as it did yesterday afternoon. But having said that, moving along to what? Uh, as some of you may know, I got drafted in 1967, ended up at Fort Polk, Louisiana, and infantry, 11B10, 11 bang bang. That was my MOS. But enough said. We won't get too deep into that rabbit hole. But you do 8 weeks of basic, and then you go to AIT, which is Advanced Infantry Training at Tigerland. You know, and every time you went under that sign with the tiger on it, you said, "I'm a Kong killer" or some crazy crap like that. You know, they brainwashed us real good. Enough said. The story I'm about to tell is it was just something weird that happened. You know, just it wasn't cruel or unusual or whatever. It was just weird. You know, because here I am at AIT. I'd already been in the military for 8 weeks or whatever it was. I think at basic was 8 weeks, and it's hell. You think you died and went to hell, and you did for 8 weeks. You did die and go to hell, and because it was you talk about getting in good physical condition. You would never believe the abuse that the human body can take until you go through basic training, either in the Marines or the Army. I'm sure the others are the same too, but who knows? But anyway, so here we are at AIT, Advanced Infantry Training, North Fort, Louisiana, Tigerland, and been there about, I don't know, 4 weeks, but it was a piece of cake, we took, a lot of long hikes and crap, with all our gear and stuff. You go to the firing range, fire the M60 and a lot of other weaponry and stuff, and you throw hand grenades and stuff, live ones, and it was and you go through the little gas chamber and crap, where they hit you with the gas, and enough said about that. But my deal was we did something really good, and so we got the whole company, our group got a 3 day pass. Well, in each barracks, there's like 80 guys in each barracks. You got two floors, and there was 80 people there, and and it was in the morning, when you got up, it was noisy. People making different. You couldn't sleep in. In other words, what I'm saying, because when it was time to get out of the sack and get ready to go do our morning, what they call the morning walk, which was a 6 mile run before breakfast every day. Yeah, but you were in such shape. It was actually fun. I enjoyed the crap out of it. It was kind of like taking a walk, and so. But anyway, we got a 3 day pass, and Friday evening everybody's giddy and all that stuff. A few guys left early because they had their girlfriends or somebody come pick them up. I didn't have anybody come pick me up because it was kind of a surprise 3 day pass at the last minute, and I didn't have anybody to call locally to do anything. So I thought, well, hell, I'll just get up in the morning and Saturday morning and wherever somebody goes, I'll just follow along because you got to remember I was very shy and ignorant. I mean, I'm telling you guys, you don't realize how really dumb I was. And I was raised. You didn't ask questions. If you needed to know something, somebody tell you. Well, and that's kind of good, but in my opinion, it's not right. you need to ask questions. The only way you're going to learn things is ask. Okay, be a good asker. So anyway, uh, weird man. This is a weird story. But anyway, Saturday morning, I got up. You couldn't sleep late. I got up early. I mean, it was probably I don't know. I'd say between 6 and 7 a.m. And it was like October, so it was fairly cool and comfortable. And I got up, and there wasn't a soul in the barracks. No one. Me. I was the only one in the whole barracks. And I thought, well, did I miss a formation or something? So anyway, I slipped on my fatigues and went out front door, and hell, there wasn't a soul around. Everybody's gone. I thought, well, what in the shit? You know. So I thought, well, but anyway, so I came back in, but I had the whole thing to myself, the restroom. Very rarely could you take a shower by yourself, or pee without 40 guys lined up. You know what I mean? And sitting on a commode with four guys on each side, that's not a real thriller. You know what I mean? And so no, there was no privacy. You get over that real quick, and or you die. And so anyway, I came back in and put on my Class A's because that's what because we had a 3 day pass. If you left the fort or you went anywhere on the fort, actually, you're supposed to be wearing your Class A's if you had a pass. And anyway, so I had a pass, and but my brass was all polished. Man, I looked like golden boy. You know what I mean? My Class A's, which are your khaki pants. I mean, and then I had my black lace-up shoes, spit shine. You know what I mean? I mean, you could see your face in them. And I was real proud of the way I looked. But unfortunately, I didn't have anywhere to go, and there wasn't anybody around. I didn't know where. I had no clue even how to get to Leesville. We called it Diseaseville, but it was Leesville next to Fort Polk. So anyway, I walk out. Beautiful morning, actually, as I recall, sun shining. And I remember they were playing over the PA system. It played over the whole fort. You know what I mean? And the song that was playing was "Grooving on a Sunday Afternoon." And I think the people that sing that are called the Rascals or something. But that song was singing, "Grooving on a Sunday." But even though it was Saturday, they were playing that song. And I thought, man, how pretty, So I wasn't sad or depressed or anything. I was too stupid to be any of those. But I didn't know where anybody was. And I was thinking, well, did I miss something? Because I could have, God Almighty, I could have, what I mean. But what I couldn't figure out was how 79 guys could get up and not make enough noise to wake me up and make their bunks and leave. You got me? I still haven't figured that out. That is a total mystery to me. It's to this day. Did I ask when they got back? Yeah, I asked a couple of guys who said, "Oh shit, we just got up and left, man." Okay, I got you. Got up and left. But anyway, they all went different directions, I'm sure, but it doesn't matter to me. I mean, it wasn't like I was an outsider. I had a few buddies. Well, actually, you didn't have any buddies. You know what I mean? Then, because that was during the Vietnam War. Everybody was real goosey about that. And most guys were super depressed and sad because they'd gotten a Dear John letter from their girlfriend and stuff. So it was kind of a strange situation altogether. But anyway, I had them a Class A, so I there was a bus. I knew that there was a bus on the fort that went from the fort to Leesville, and I thought, well, I walk down the corner, catch the bus. Well, here comes the bus, and then it occurred to me, I don't know where this bus goes because they go all over the fort, and it's a big fort. You got North Fort, South Fort. It's a hell of a big operation. So I thought, well, hell, I don't want to be screwed around and get dropped off somewhere and have to walk 10 miles back because I've done enough of that. So what I did was I walked down. I knew where the commissary was, so I walked to the commissary, got something to snack on, and the mess hall was closed. There wasn't a soul there, and CO was gone. None of the DIs were there. No, there was nobody in the office, man. It was weird. And anyway, I went down to the bus stop and chickened out at the last minute. Ended up going to the commissary. Came back to the barracks, read a book for a while because it was nice and quiet. First time in months that I'd had any peace and quiet, so I thought, shit, take advantage of it, and I did. And and then at lunch I went back to the commissary, picked up something, or I think I got a hamburger somewhere, but I can't remember where it was. And but anyway, it was damn good. And anyway, killed the afternoon fooling around there. Might have taken a nap, I doubt it. And but I ended up that evening at the Tiger Bar. God dang, that's a place you didn't want to be, boy. Guarantee you. I'm telling you, man. That was hell. You had to be down. You had to be ready all the time. You had to be on red alert because whenever one of those guys would go off and have an entrenching tool and bang somebody over the head, then the war would start. You know, but it didn't happen while I was in there that time, and I don't. I just recall hearing it one other time. But anyway, I was in there, went in there, and but the beer was 3.2 beer. You know what I mean? It was like 3% alcohol, I think, and that's what they called it, 3.2 beer. It's like they sell in Oklahoma now, and it's you can't hardly get drunk on it. I guess you can, but I got a little buzz on. I don't know. I probably drank 4 gallons, whatever it was, and I went back to the barracks. And it's Saturday night, man. There wasn't a soul in the barracks. You hear what I'm telling you? Nobody, just me. I thought, are you shitting me? Well, anyway, Sunday morning, Monday the same drill. Basically, well, then Monday about late morning, early afternoon, guys started reappearing and stuff. But I really didn't care then. I was wishing they just stay gone. Shit. I was beginning to enjoy life without you guys. And that's enough said about that. But then the other side of that is years later, like 1994, I went in the U.S. Peace Corps, went to Mongolia, and I'm there with 18 volunteers from the age of, I don't know, 22 to me. I turned 49 in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. I was the oldest. Then next to me was a guy named, he was a Chinese American, Gary Fong, that was his name. And he was 32, I think. He was nearest to my age. Good guy, sharp. But all these kids, I called them kids then. They graduated from Yale, Harvard, Berkeley, Southern Cal, a lot of big name schools, and they were almost without exception, they had a lot of money. And here I was, Mr. Nobody with very little money, if any. I think I went into Mongolia in the Peace Corps. I had $300. That was my net worth. I'm telling you the truth, and it went pretty quick for warm clothes and stuff. But they reimbursed you for that, which was okay. But anyway, the story is this. So here we go. We arrived in Ulaanbaatar. We were driven out to this old Russian military barracks, two-story. Yeah, two-story, and our rooms are on the second floor. And of course, there's guys and girls. So one restroom was kind of dedicated to the girls, and the other was kind of dedicated to the guys. They had showers and stuff. And but it was wide open. I mean, it was kind of like being in the military. Of course, it was a military barracks, and yeah. So, but I had some of the guys double bunked and some of the girls double bunked. Like two to a room, but I didn't. I had my own. I made it a point to get my own room, okay? Because they had plenty of rooms, and they said just pick one, and I did. And anyway, so there was two little cots in there that I pushed together and kind of made a little bigger bed, which I really didn't need, but I thought I did. And the people, some of the younger, they'd come in. The guys would come in and ask, talk and stuff. We had good conversations, and they'd come in and drink their beer or whiskey, whatever the hell they were drinking. I think everyone in the Peace Corps at that time was drank a lot of booze. Okay, and anyway, let me have a swallow of this right here, and I'll finish the story. So anyway, they call it pre-service training. So the first few days, we stayed at the officers' quarters. That was our place to stay, and then we had our breakfast at a lunchroom attached to a university right next door, which was about, I don't know, it seemed like it was about 150 yards away. You just walk kind of down the hill, and there's this building there, and at the basement there was a lunchroom, and that's where we had our breakfast. Well, when they started pre-service training, that was going to be done at what they called the Children's Palace, which was going to be about 2 miles away. And in the basement, again, that would be where we'd have breakfast, and then we do the pre-service training in some of the classrooms at the school that were not being used. And because it was a school, it was called the Children's Palace, but it was a school. And sometimes, let me finish the story first. So anyway, the first day, of pre-service training. I get up my usual time, put on my clothes, and I thought, well, hell, I'll just follow some of these other kids down to the training facility because I had no clue where it was. Nobody had ever said anything about it. Some of the younger group had gone together and checked out parts of town, which I didn't do. I just hung around the barracks, and I did go to a bar one time. I can't remember where it was, but but anyway, so I didn't know where the Children's Palace was that we were going to do the pre-service training in. Well, the first day, I get up, put on my duds, get my little pack with my boil water and all my stuff ready to go, walk out in the hall, not a sound. And I thought, what in the hell's going on now? So I walked around, and every single one of those volunteers was gone. It was the same old drill from 1967. Little deja vu there. And I thought, how in the hell could they have gotten up and got out of here without waking me up? I mean, I'm a light sleeper, unless they drugged me the night before, which could have been done. These kids had all kind of stuff. I mean, and they were smart. So yeah, I don't know. So as far as, but anyway, there wasn't anybody there, but I did remember hearing one of the teacher trainers talking with a group of the volunteers one day, and I overheard her say that the pre-service training was going to be done at the Children's Palace, and she pointed in a direction away from the place, and I looked. She said, "You see that building over there?" And I didn't really see it, but I did look in that direction. I thought, well, okay, at least I know the direction, and that was the end of that for a few days. I never even thought anything about it. So I get up, and here I am in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. I don't speak the language. Shit. I talk about lost. Hello. Even though I was 49, you can still be lost at 49. Anyway, so I got my bag, and I thought, well, hell, if it's that direction, we'll go that direction. So away I go across this field, that I found out later. They said there were some old landmines out there. Thank you for telling me. Yo, thank you for telling me. I'm in El Paso now. But I walked across there, and then I came to this place, and I wasn't sure if I could cross through there because it was kind of like a park, a big park, and it had all these Walt Disney looking characters in it and a big Ferris wheel and stuff. And there was a trail where you could go through there, but I wasn't sure you were supposed to. So I went down the other way, and I didn't see any building that looked like a school. So I immediately headed back to the building we were staying in, the officers' quarters. There was a phone there, and I did have the Peace Corps office number. So I called the office and got the country director, Gene Mead, on the phone. And I said, Gene, where is this damn Children's Palace? I'm here at the deal. Everybody's gone. So if you just give me directions, I'll try to find it. She said, well, what you do, you just kind of go out and you go across the bridge, the bridge over the Tool River, and then take the first right. And I said, let me go over that again. So I go out down the road, cross over the Tool River Bridge, take the first right? She said, that's correct. Thank you very much. She said, then it'll be right through. It'll be the first building on the right. Take a right, first building on the right. Can't miss it. Good deal. Way I go. Across the Tool River, took a right. Nothing. There was no damn building there. I ended up going down that road far enough. I was back at that park. And so I thought, well, I guess I missed a turn or something. So anyway, I go back toward the road that I turned right on, and here comes the Peace Corps Toyota mobile, that we hardly ever got to ride in. They wouldn't pick you up for crap. And it was Gene Mead and a couple of teacher trainers in it. And she said, hop in, we'll give you a ride. And I said, okay, great. I said, well, how did I miss it? She said, well, it's not here. You got to go down another street and then to the right, and it's on the right. I said, well, we went over that twice, Gene, and you told me it was the first right. She said, well, I thought it was. And she said, that's why we came to pick you up, because we figured you'd be way down this road. And I said, well, I appreciate it. And I wasn't really, I was really pissed off, to tell you the truth, because first of all, here I am left by the children, and, everybody sneaks out because I knew they had to. I don't have enough said about that. And then the country director kind of sends me on a merry-go-round chase, which is, okay, now that I know how the game's played, that's all I need to know, guys. I'm good. Here, let me have a swallow of beer. Mm. But anyway, um, so I did. We got to the children's palace, and all they did was, Gene, they just pulled up there, and we got out. Me and the two teachers, volunteers, and I'm not sure what part of the world they were from. They were real nice and friendly and stuff. I enjoyed visiting with them. They were a little older. They were in their 30s, 40s, whatever, and yeah, they were okay, and did a good job. And but anyway, that was that story. So anyway, I go in, go down to the basement, and have breakfast. And one of the things you have to be careful of, or at least we did, whenever you eat rice in Mongolia, sometimes they don't sift it real good, so there's rocks in there. And I've got chipped teeth from biting down on a rock, and the other volunteers too. And so, it's not what they tell you, it's what they don't tell you, you know what I mean? But I just thought it was weird, those two experiences, where everybody's gone. It was just a weird, strange feeling. But, and I think that could they have drugged me and, I just missed the whole deal? Yeah, yes, that's very possible. But because I did get a little payback on that, we were having a little party there at the deal one night, and we were drinking beer, and the beer comes in these tall green bottles, and it holds more than it probably holds maybe 24 ounces. It holds a lot. One if you drank two or three bottles, you'd be out. You know what I mean? But anyway, I was drinking one of those, and I set it down, and I walked over. I was gonna. They had a little pool table there, and it wasn't worth a crap. I'll admit that. But anyway, out of the corner of my eye, I saw one of the girls put something in my beer. Okay, and I couldn't see what it was. So what I did was I went back and I sat down and I acted like I drank the beer, took a big swallow out of it, and I could hear a little giggling and shit. And anyway, to pay back, what I did was there was a couple of girls that the beer was kind of off to one side, and so what I did was I went over there and I got a fresh beer, and I had my beer, and I took the cap off. It wasn't twist off. They were, you had to take them off, but you could pop it down on there, and it was just like it was fairly new. You know what I mean? So anyway, this one girl was coming that way. It wasn't the one that put the dust in my drink, but she said, hand me a beer or something like that. So I said, yeah, here, let me open it for you. So I just took the one that they dusted for me and gave it to her. And a few minutes later, she was all over me, man. I mean, I don't know what they put in that damn drink, but yeah, she came over and she was kissing me all over, and we ended up in the ladies' restroom, and she's sitting in my lap. Get out of here, man. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff, man. And then, yeah, there's I could tell a lot of stories there, but I'd probably be talking out of school there because there's a lot of good people in the Peace Corps. They all doing, trying to do good things, but some people use it as a resume builder, and that is good or bad depending on what you're into. But it is a really strange experience. But that being just waking up with a group you've woken up with for several days, and then there's nobody there. It's weird, But anyway, that's all I got to say. And what's that got to do with sanity? Well, that can drive you insane, man. That's what happened to me. See, there's my excuse. Here's to you. Here's to me. Yep, but those were the good old days. I learned something with both of those experiences that I wouldn't trade for anything, and so that's life, guys. You get to be a 77 like I am, and you look back. There's so many different things that you've done that you grew stronger from. Nietzsche or whoever it is says, if it doesn't kill you, you grow stronger from it. I think that's true. Anyway, having said that, guys, it's Friday evening, beer 30, sanity session. I hope you're coming around a little bit now, but enjoy your weekend and enjoy your life. And if you go somewhere, like if you go to a football game and you go to the restroom and you come back and 80,000 people have disappeared, don't let it bother you. Just sit down and drink your beer and enjoy your life. Adios amigos. Bye-bye.